Hey everyone, it's Ali. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be unboxing and testing out the Artful ink box. We're going to unbox the parcel together, try out some of the supplies, and then we're going to do a painting together to really put them through their paces. If you do enjoy this video, please remember to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more like this. I make art and craft videos, including lots of hauls, tutorials and demos. Artful is an art supplies subscription box that releases a new box of art supplies every quarter, so that's every 3 months. It is a subscription, but you can also buy the boxes individually. This is my first box. You can choose the first box that they send you, and then you are added to their subscription, so you will continue to receive boxes every 3 months until you cancel. There are a couple of different options, but I decided to go with the ink box. I really like working in ink, and I thought it would be a great way to learn a bit more about the medium. I was actually really pleasantly surprised by the amount of supplies that you got in this box for the price. 5 30ml acrylic ink bottles, which are all the Artful brand, and the RRP of those, according to Artful, is £6.50 each. So just for those 5 inks you would be paying £32.50, and the whole box just costs £35 including shipping, and you get a lot of other stuff in the box as well. I was actually really impressed by that. Of course you do expect in a subscription box to get more value than you've paid for the subscription box, but I thought this was a really awesome amount of supplies for that amount of money. You can easily go and buy just ink and spend £35 quite easily. So there are 5 different ink colours in this box. There is a blue, a yellow, a green, a red and a purple. There is also a bottle of Indian ink, which the RRP is £4.95, which is slightly different. That's in black. There is also a pack of greetings cards, which are a special lightly coated board, and the envelopes to go with those. There is another bottle of ink, which is a pelican ink. I think that's meant for fountain pens, but of course you can use it in paintings. That is in blue black shade. There are some supplies to round out the inks as well, so you get a pencil, you get a clear wax crayon and a Chinograph pencil, which is specifically to use with the ink. You also get a fine liner, which is a Faber-Castell fine liner. You get 2 brushes and 3 water brushes as well. And then of course you get a big pad of A4 watercolour paper, which is really nice quality paper. And the last thing you get in the box is a really cool magazine. Now I sat down and read this with a cup of tea and really enjoyed it. There's a lot of interviews with artists, there's a lot of inspiration. All the artists have got very different styles, which I think is really clever of them to do. So everyone can be inspired by this. There are tutorials, there are tips on using the ink. There's even some history of the use of ink in art, which I found really interesting reading about that. And it's a really nicely designed magazine, really well put together, and it's just a really lovely thing to have in the subscription box. It's one that I can go back to and get inspiration from time and again. I was really impressed in particular with the magazine, because I thought that was it really tied the box together really well, and it was a really nice thing to have in there, as well as all the supplies. So that's everything that was in the box. For £35 including shipping, I thought that was a really good deal. I'm really excited to get my next Artful box. I know that the next box is going to be a watercolour box, which I am particularly excited about. I really like watercolour and I would love to learn how to be better at it. And I could also really appreciate a new watercolour palette in my collection. So I'm really excited to receive that one this month. If you want to see me unbox and demo that one, then please leave me a comment and I will do that as well. That will get me using it. So next we need to go and try out these products, don't we? It would be a bit boring if I just unboxed them all and didn't show you exactly how they worked. So I decided to do some swatches of the inks on the watercolor paper that was provided in the box. So that is what I did first. I always like to swatch out new mediums when I get them, just to see how they perform, what the colors are like on the paper, and this was also a really good test for the paper as well, the Artful provided in the box. So I've just started out with mixing some of the inks with water to see how they react and see what the colors look like on paper when they are just used on their own. I've used the brushes that came in the box as well. The brushes are really nice, really good quality brushes. I have no complaints about the brushes at all. I really enjoyed painting with them. They held their shape really well, they picked up enough water and enough ink, and they were really easy to clean too, and they've got nice wooden handles, so I have 0 complaints about those whatsoever. The colours of the ink are really vibrant as well. I was particularly impressed with the yellow and the red, which are really pigmented. One of the advantages of using acrylic ink over something like watercolour is that once they dry, they're permanent, so it's really easy to layer inks. You just do your layer, wait for it to dry, and then layer over the top, and you're not going to disturb the ink underneath. So it's a really nice medium to use in a similar way to watercolour, but you definitely get different effects. And it's really good for getting really crisp lines and crisp shading and different crisp tones on your painting. So yeah, I was really excited to give these ones a go. And I've got some colours here that I don't have already in my ink collection, because I have a small acrylic ink collection. And we've done all the swatches now, so it's time to move on to the painting. I'm just putting some painter's tape down so I've got a nice clean edge to my painting so it doesn't go everywhere. And then I've used the pencil that came in the box to do the sketch. This is a Faber-Castell pencil in F, which is a really light pencil, great for using under ink and watercolour drawings, and easy to erase before you do your final painting. So once I've finished the painting, you can't see the pencil marks underneath, which is really good. That's what you want usually when you're doing a painting. I'm going to do some painting of some kiwis. This was a prompt on the Artful Instagram. They actually post prompts, I think, every day to inspire you on their Instagram. And something else I really liked about their Instagram, although this might be a little bit controversial, was they don't actually show the box, like what's inside the box. So if you're somebody that subscribes and you really want it to be a surprise for you every month, then you can still follow their Instagram and avoid seeing what is in the box, like which I think is great. They do have stories of what's inside the boxes on their highlights, so if you did want to go and see what's inside, you can. But they also give you like a warning, like, you know, don't watch this if you want to see if you don't want to see the spoilers of what's in the box. So I think that's a really clever tactic for them to do. I like to see what's in the box, so I would always go and have a look, but I know some people would rather just be surprised by what's coming. So I love that they let you choose. We started on the painting now. I have mixed the green and the yellow together to make more of like a more kiwi-ish green. They mix really nicely. These are really easy to mix together and get different colours, which I was really pleased to see. They don't like separate or anything like that. They're easy to mix, they're easy to water down. They stay wet long enough for me to work with them. You know, they didn't dry on the palette straight away, which was really great. I have a palette that I just use for my acrylic inks, and like I don't really wash it. They're just, once they're dry, they're on there, but you can just use more inks on top, so it's not really a problem. And I'm just painting the base layer of the kiwis here in this green shade, and then I'm going to do lots more layers of green on top just to build up the different colours and the different tones in the kiwis. I'm trying to keep it quite loose and not be too tight in my painting, which is something I'm a little bit guilty of. I do want to really get into doing more impressionist and like abstract kinds of paintings rather than just trying to make it look like the photograph all the time. Which I have been guilty of in the past, because that's just boring, isn't it? If I wanted to take a photograph of something, just take a photograph. If I'm going to do a painting, I need to put some kind of my own flair in there. I have talked a little bit about my art kind of skills on my channel before. You probably know that I'm more of a crafter and I do a lot of card making videos on this channel. But I did study art for 2 years at college before I went to university. I did a double applied art A-level course, which was like 15 hours of art tuition a week, and you had to do like a big exam and like loads of sketchbooks and projects and stuff. And at the time I did it because I love doing art. I didn't really want to do it as a job at that time, and I did feel a little bit like I was in the minority there, because everyone else in my class seemed to want to do it as a job, which is obviously great, and I just wanted to do it for fun. And I don't think I got as much out of it as I probably could have. I mean you don't when you're that age, when you're sort of like 17, 18. I think it's bizarre that we ask teenagers to choose what they want to do for the rest of their life at that age, because I mean I don't even know what I want to do with my life now 10 years later, so I think that's so bizarre, but I think that's a conversation for another day. I really enjoyed some of that art A-level. I didn't enjoy the idea of keeping a sketchbook because I didn't really understand how to do it, and that was a very large part of that course, so I probably didn't get as much out of it as I could have done. But recently I've really got back into experimenting more with different mediums and drawing and painting again, and I'm really having a lot of fun not putting any pressure on myself. So this subscription box really came along at the exact right time for me, to be honest. So I realised in this video I haven't talked a whole lot about what I'm actually doing with the inks, and that's because I didn't really know what I was doing. I was just playing around and seeing what happened when I used the ink this way or that way, when I watered it down a bit more, when I used it in a more textured way, whether it would blend together, and I was just having fun. This isn't going to be like a final painting or anything. This is just me experimenting with the ink, and this was so much fun without putting any pressure on myself to really make something amazing. Obviously I was hoping it would turn out nicely because I wanted to share it with you guys, and it would be a little bit embarrassing if I posted a video demoing an art box and made like really crappy art, right? But it is also really important to not put pressure on yourself when you are making art. So something that I struggle with a little bit is having a YouTube channel. I tend to make projects, art, cards, whatever it is, for YouTube and film it. And for my card making videos, I don't practice making the card beforehand. I basically just start making the card or start painting the painting or whatever it is that I'm working on, and I film it. And then there is a little bit of pressure involved there to try and make something good, because you want someone else to be able to learn from your practice and from what you're doing and enjoy, you know, watching the video and feel like they've learned something. And that is a really difficult part of being a YouTuber, because you put so much pressure on yourself to create something good every time. And I don't know about other YouTubers, but for me, I don't have a huge amount of time to work on my videos each week. So being able to fit in planning a video, filming a video, editing a video, doing the voiceover for the video, but then also practicing and doing things for fun is really difficult, and I don't always get time to do both. So yeah, that is something really difficult that I find with having a YouTube channel, having a lot of other stuff going on. If you guys don't know, as well as my YouTube channel, which is just like my thing that I do in my spare time, I have a full-time job. I'm a marketing executive for a software development company, which is a lot more fun than it sounds, I promise. And I also run a business, which is a makeup swatch stencil business. So I design and sell makeup swatch stencils online. I sell those to bloggers and makeup brands and people that are just into posting their makeup on Instagram. So with all of that stuff going on, and then, you know, I've got my house that I need to look after. You know, I try to have some semblance of a social life, although that doesn't always play out, especially during a global pandemic. I guess that's kind of hard, isn't it? And then, you know, there's always DIY that needs to be done in the house. Like, we've just finished getting our kitchen done. There's always like decisions to be made and things to be bought, and, you know, yeah, there's just always so many things to do that I think this is a reason why I've recently really got into painting, because it's something that I can just focus on and not think about anything else. Having that time where it's just you and the paint and the paper, it's just really good. I can just forget about everything else that's going on and not worry. So that was quite a bit of a tangent there. I would love to know in the comments how you guys are feeling at the moment as we're coming out of lockdown. I know not all countries are coming out of lockdown, but I know some of them are. I know a lot of my audience is in the US and the UK, and I know that those two countries are probably at the forefront of vaccinating all their people. So please let me know how you're feeling about it, if you're excited to be coming out of lockdown, if you're a little bit apprehensive. Personally, I am a bit of both, so I'm really looking forward to seeing people again and hanging out with my family and going on trips. But at the same time, having gotten used to just being at home and not, you know, going anywhere that you can really help it, it's going to be a little bit of a weird adjustment period for me, I think, and trying to reconfigure my schedule so I can fit everything in. It's going to be a bit hectic. Yesterday I went out and hung out with some friends in the sun for the first time in a very long time, and I managed to not only get sunburn but probably get sort of mild sunstroke. So when I came home I was feeling quite dizzy. So clearly pushed it a little bit too hard there. Just like the first time I went into the city centre recently to go to the office, I managed to lose my bank card, which I have not done ever in this 28 years that I've been alive. I just forgot how to behave in public and just dropped my bank card in the street, I think. So so far it's not been going particularly well, my adventures back into normal society, but I'm hoping that it gets better as I remember how to behave. So we have finished with the ink now on this painting. I've done all the ink layers and I really like it. I wanted to add some more detail, so I grabbed this black fine liner that came in the box. I was actually really impressed with this fine liner. I really liked how black it was and how easily it went over all these layers of ink. It's from Faber-Castell. I do really like Faber-Castell as a brand. They're quite pricey, but I find that all of their products I've tried that are pricey are probably worth the price, especially if you can get, you know, like a good deal. I've got a set of the Polychromos pencils and I do really like those, although I didn't pay like the full RRP for those, so I'm not sure how I'd feel if I had. But I think I might get a few more of these Faber-Castell fine liners in a few different colours. I can really see myself using like a sepia brown and maybe like a navy colour. That would be really nice. And I really liked how this pen worked with trying to depict the seeds of the kiwis. The first kiwi I did the seeds a little bit too small and close together, and you can kind of see there in the middle of the painting. After that they were a little bit of a better size and a little bit further apart. But you know, it doesn't have to be perfect. This is a practice. If I wanted to do another painting of kiwis, I've learnt a lot from painting this one that can really help me next time I do a painting. Whether it's kiwis or not, I learnt a lot about the medium. I learnt a lot about how it performs, and I learnt a lot about how I can layer it and make, you know, a drawing or painting that I'm really pleased with. So yeah, I was really impressed with this pen. I think I'm going to use it all the time. I do like a fine liner. I don't have a lot of practice of like painting and then doing the line art over the top, so I really need to do a few more paintings like that, I think. I'm a really big fan of like illustrative styles. I watch a lot of YouTubers who do paintings that are more illustrative. I'll put a few of my favourite YouTube artists in the description box. I have got quite a few that I've been watching recently. One of the ones I like the most is Sandy Hester. Sandy does really she's really loose with her paintings. I think she used to be like a really realistic like watercolor artist, and she's just gone, like, she decided she didn't want to do that anymore and just started doing all these like really what I would describe as like messy and like abstract style paintings. And her just like joy for the whole idea of painting and creating is just so nice to watch, and I love watching her vlogs. So I'll put her in the description box, and then there's a few other artists as well that I really love to watch. I love watching their speed paints, so I'll pop the links down there for you to have a look if you are interested. I really want to do more painting here on this channel. I have done one video before where I did a paint with me, so I'll link that up in the cards for you if you'd like to go and watch that. That was also a natural painting. That was some houseplant thumbnails that I did in gouache, and I've been playing around with a different set of gouache recently. The first gouache I tried I didn't really like it. It was like a bit sticky and never really seemed to dry, which I thought was a bit odd for gouache because that isn't how gouache is supposed to perform. And I recently tried some Arteza gouache and I like those a lot better, so I'm hoping I'll be able to share some more gouache painting videos on the channel. Let me know if you'd like to see that. I know a lot of you are crafters and you say you want to see more card making videos, and I'm not going to stop doing those, don't worry about that. But I just think I find these so relaxing to watch, so I'd love to make some of my own. So I've finished all of the detailing on the painting now, and it's time to peel the tape off. The one criticism I have of this paper, which did seem to hold water and paint really well, and it did warp a little bit, but that's kind of to be expected, was that the tape ripped it. Now I've used this tape on my moleskin sketchbook and it didn't rip the paper, so I don't think it's the tape. It could be a combination of the tape and the paper, but it's quite delicate paper, so yeah, that was the one criticism I have of it. Although now I know that I can just make sure the tape is slightly less sticky next time I use it. So I've left the peeling of the tape in for you because I always find that super satisfying to watch. I hope you guys do too. So that's the completed painting. I hope you enjoyed the video and you enjoyed seeing me paint this. I'll put the link to Artful in the description box as well, so you can go and check it out. Let me know if you want to see another video like this, unboxing the next Artful subscription box. Please give this video a like if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to my channel for more like this. I'd love to have you here. I hope you have a great day, and that I'll see you back here on my channel again soon. Bye.